Morning. Hello.
Um,
Okay, so we'll start now, huh? We'll start now. Okay. So good morning, class. So we're going to discuss the continuation of 7th segment. So what we have discussed yesterday. So on your screen, okay, on your screen. So this is actually the what actual 7th segment looks like. So I knew that you have seen this one. Okay. So just like what we've discussed. Okay. So it has seven. It is seven LEDs arranged in a figure of 8. Okay. So as you can see, it has 5 pins up, down. Okay. What else? Okay. So it has 2 types. So you have common anode and common cathode. So just like this one. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So this one is common. So all negative is tied up. So it is common cathode. Okay. And then we also have common anode. Okay. So this one is a common anode. Okay. So in designing, so it is the one that is usually used is the common cathode. Okay. But then common cathode. Wait, common anode rather. So this one is usually used. So it won't be burdensome to the circuit to if you are it doesn't with this what is common anode. Okay, so you have to invert the input. Okay, you have to invert. So as you can see, it will only turn on. So like this one for A to G up until the decimal point, the LED will only turn on if the supply for 7, let's say pin is 0 or negative. Okay, so for 3 and 8, so you have to supply it with positive, but to turn on the each LEDs, okay, so you have to supply it with negative. Okay. Okay, so, but then it really depends. So sometimes this is not available. So you have no choice but to buy this common anode. Okay, so with common cathode rather, this is common cathode. So you have negative all tied up. So with common cathode as is, okay, so to turn on, let's say each LED, you have to supply this with positive voltage. Okay, positive voltage for A to G, also with decimal point. Okay, but sometimes when you go to the electronic shop, okay, you want to buy the common anode, it's not available, but you have no choice to buy this common cathode. So it's okay. It's a matter of preferences actually. Okay, any question about the how does the common cathode looks like? Okay. Any question, class? How does the common cathode common? How does the 7 segment looks like? Okay. So let's go back to our lecture. So we have this yesterday, 7 segment display. So again, it is a LED, 7 LEDs configured in 8. Okay, configured in 8. Okay. So you have from A to G, you have 7 LEDs all in all. Okay. Then it is used to display 0 to 9. And then as well as A to F for hexadecimals. Okay, so yesterday, so again, we have 2 types. So we have common anode. So anode is positive. Okay, it is being tied up. So you have to supply this with positive voltage. And then to turn on each LED, so you have to supply the pins here. This is from the supply here would be coming from the logic circuit design. Okay, so you made a logic circuit diagram, right? So the output of letter A. So we have we had letter A yesterday. So the output of letter A will be connected here to pin 7. Okay. So, but then, since this is common anode, okay, so to turn on LED, okay, so you have to invert your output. Okay, so LEDA will only turn on if supply to the pin 7 is 0 or negative. Okay, so this is common anode. Okay, so actually this is more preferable than the common cathode. Okay, and then we have common cathode. This is common cathode. So as you can see, all the negative cathode side of the LED is connected. And then you have to supply here. You have to supply the pin 3 or 8 with negative voltage or connect it to the ground. To turn on 7, okay, so let's say you have LEDA here. So to turn on each LED, you have to supply here with positive voltage. So you have your design already with A, output A. So you have to supply it here directly to the 7. So common cathode lets you directly connect your logic circuit design to pin. Let's say you have logic circuit design A. That was your assignment yesterday. So the output of which would be connected here in pin 7. Okay? But let's say this is not available common cathode, so you have no choice but to buy the common anode. Okay, that's all right, but you have to. So again, for common anode, all the positive are tied up, okay, connected to the positive voltage. So to turn on each LED, you have to supply the pins with negative voltage. Okay, so therefore, the logic circuit design for A, output A, that was your assignment yesterday again. Okay, so you have to input it to inverter. You have to invert it first. So therefore, you have to use inverter before you connect it to uh, pin 7 so that the LEDA would light up. Question, class? Question? May I see your assignment? I would like to see your assignment. May I check your assignment? Okay. Okay, Tagay has an assignment. May I see your assignment? Okay, so at least you're getting, okay, so I can see the drawing. Okay, at least you're getting grasp of how to design. Okay, so we have, so you just follow the terms here. Okay, so we have solve terms here. Okay, ayan. Okay, so very good. So, yan. So you have the circuit. Okay. So, any question about your assignment yesterday? Okay, so we had A. Okay, now we do the B here. So, we need to have practice. Okay, so let's do B. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's do B. Okay, so we just do B. Okay, so we only have 5, 6, okay, as 0. Okay, 5, 6 as 0, so let's answer letter B. We only have 5, 6 as 0. Okay, so let's have 1. Class, any question, class? You have question? Okay, how about, okay, so let's see. B. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 0, 2, 5, 0 to 4, 1, 5, 6, 0, then 1 again, 7 to 10. Okay, 7 to 10, 1, 11, 12, 0. 7 to 10, 1, and then 11, 12. Okay. Okay, 1 until 10. Am I right? Then 11, 12 is 0. Okay, so let's see. 11, 12, 0, and then 13, 1, 14, 15 again. 14, 15. Am I right, class? Can you check? So we have 5, 6, 0, 11, 14, 15, 12, 11, 12, 14, 15, 11, 12, 14, 15, 5, 6. Okay. 14, 15, 11, 12, 5, 6. Okay. Okay, so what shall we use for output B? Suggestion. What do you want? What do you want to try for output B? Mean term or max terms? So you may write your opinions here if you don't have microphone. What do you want to solve? Mean term or max terms? Mean term, output of 1. Max terms, output of 0. So what do you want? Oh my, we're so ano. Why there's only 4 of you? What happened to your classmates? Max terms. So you want max terms. Okay. Max terms. Okay. Okay, so with max terms, okay. Using max terms. Okay, so let's have V is equal to. Okay. Okay, so we have this one. First loop. Okay. No fill. Okay. First loop. So again, so for the first loop, so with respect to WX plane, so we have 0, 1, and 1, 1. Then again, compare X to X, X, 1, 1. So what is the answer? X is eliminated, 1 or eliminated, X or X prime. Okay, so we have X. Okay. How about W? Okay. W here is 0, 1. So what will happen to X? W rather. What will happen to W? Sorry.
Eliminate.
Okay. Eliminated. Okay. Sorry, this is X. Okay, Justin's right. So this is max term, so it should have been X prime. Okay, so thank you, Justin. So X is 1. So again, this is max term, so it should have been X prime. Okay. W is still eliminated. Then Y is equal to 1. So therefore, X prime plus, what is Y? Y prime, Y. Y is 1. This is max term. Okay, we only have one value for YZ plane, di ba? So we only have Y is 1, Z is 0. So that's why we cannot do any comparison here. We only have one particular value. Okay, so since y is 1, okay, so since y is 1, so we have y is equal to y prime plus, okay, okay, how about this one? Z is 0. Okay, so Z is 0, so we write Z, okay? So again, this is max terms, okay? So everything is opposite of min term. Okay, so instead of multiplying each literal, we add, okay? We add. And then if it is 1, it is prime. If it is 0, unprime, okay? Instead of multiplication, we have or here, or plus, okay? And then we multiply it with another term, okay? So we'll have another term. So let's do the loop here. Okay, let's have another loop. Okay. Okay. So what color is this? I believe it is brown. Parang maroon, no? Brown red. Okay. So for this maroon line, okay, with respect to wx plane, we only have one value, which is w is 1, x is 1. So how shall we, when we say w is 1, so what shall we write? Ano isulat natin? When w is 1, is it w prime or w?
W prime po.
Okay, so we have w prime plus, okay, where is it? Okay, w prime, and x is 1, okay, w is 1, x is 1. So likewise, we have, how about the others? You may, if you don't have microphone, so you may write your feedback here at the meeting chat. So I'm looking at the meeting chat. So I'm monitoring you. Okay, w is 1, w prime. X is 1, so therefore x prime. Okay, plus, okay, okay, plus, okay. So we have, with respect to yz, okay, we have two values. We have 1, 1, and 1, 0. Then compare y. Y, 1, 1. Therefore, y is 1. So we will write y prime. Okay, so we have y prime. And how about for z? We have 1, 0. Okay, what will happen?
Eliminated.
Okay, so z is eliminated. Okay, we have, okay, okay, we have another 0 here. We can have another loop. Okay. Okay, so for the green loop, so we have two values for wx. We have 1, 1, and 1, 0. So for w, so we have compare 1, 1. So w is 1, so we will write again w is 1, so we will write,
W prime po.
okay, so we will write w prime. What happened? Okay, we will write w prime and a plus. So with respect to x, 1, 0. So x is eliminated. Okay, so with respect to yz, so we only have one value, which is y is 1, z is 1. So since y is 1, so we will write y prime plus z prime. Okay. What else? So we have two remaining, so this will be left alone in a group, and this one. Okay, so what will happen here? So we can group this to the other side. Okay. Okay, so let's. Oh. Oh no. Where are you? Okay, this one. Okay. Okay, let's group this with to the other side. Okay. And okay, to the other side. Okay. Okay, so for the purple, so we have, okay, we only have one value for wx plane, which is w is 1, x is 1. So again, we will write w is 1, so w prime plus x prime plus, okay? So with respect to wz, we have two values. We have 0, 0, and 1, 0. They are again compared y to y, okay? So we have 0 and 1. So what will happen to y? Okay, so what will happen to y? So y would be,
Eliminated.
okay, so the y would be eliminated, okay? And what's left is z0, 0, so we have plus z. Okay, what else? Okay, so this would be alone. Okay. Okay, so lone group, lone 0 in a group. Okay, for this one, okay, so we have w is, we only have one value for wx plane, w is 0. So w prime, x is 1 plus x, sorry, w, w is 0, w plus x is 1, x prime plus we have for yz plane, so we have y is 0, z is 1, so y is 0, so plus y plus z prime. Okay, so we have these values. Okay, we have 5 terms. That's a lot. Okay, what shall we do? Shall we? Okay, so let's group. So we can group this together. Okay, so what else? So we can factor out x prime plus y prime. Okay, with, wait, can I? No, no, no. Okay. Okay, so let's just do it step by step. two terms at a time. Okay, so we have fairly long equation here. So we distribute x prime, then y prime. Okay, we start with here. Okay, distribute x prime, so it would be x prime w prime plus y prime. Okay, x prime w prime, then x prime plus x prime y prime. Am I right? Please feel free to comment. So I may be typing it wrong or viewing it wrong. Y prime, x prime, and last is y prime, y prime. I'm just distributing it. Class z plus x prime z. Where am I? Z x prime plus y prime z plus y prime z. Am I right? X prime w prime x prime x prime x prime y prime w prime y prime w prime y prime x prime x prime y prime x prime y prime y prime z w prime z x prime and y prime z prime. Okay. How about the third and fourth term? So let's distribute w prime plus w prime x prime plus w prime z. Okay. For y prime, so we have y prime w prime plus y prime x prime plus y prime z. Okay, and then we have for z prime, okay, w prime z prime plus x prime z prime, and lastly you have z prime. Okay, so w prime x prime w prime z y prime w prime y prime x prime y prime z. Okay, z prime z prime w prime x prime z prime and z prime. Okay, and then copy the fifth term. Copy. Okay, then we have okay, so x prime is x prime. Okay, x prime w prime plus x prime plus x prime y prime plus y prime w prime. Okay, so same. Okay, this one's the same with this one. Okay, only one. We have the same. Okay, y prime is y prime. Okay, then we have w prime z plus w prime z plus x prime z and plus y prime z. Okay. Okay, am I right, class? Okay, x prime, okay. Y prime, w prime z. Okay, x prime z, y prime z. Okay, then we have for this one, w prime is w prime. Okay, plus what else? W prime x. W prime x prime plus W prime Z plus L prime Y prime. Okay. Okay. Plus X prime Y prime. X prime Y prime. Okay. Plus Y prime Z plus W prime. Okay. W prime Z prime. Okay. Plus W prime Z prime plus X prime Z prime. Okay. X prime Z prime. And then ZZ prime is equal to 0. Okay. Question. Question, class? Any question? If you have question, please comment, feedback. None? None so far? Can you follow? Can you follow? Okay. Okay, W prime, X prime, W prime, Z, Y prime, W prime, X prime, Y prime, Z. W prime, Z prime. Okay. X prime, Z prime, Z prime is 0. Okay. E is equal to what? Okay. Okay, so we may associate this. What else? So this one also. Okay. So that's it for now. So we're just doing this step by step. Okay, X prime. Okay, what's the answer for this one? This is X prime plus, okay, Y prime, okay, plus W prime Z plus X prime Z plus Y prime Z. Okay. Okay. Then let's transfer the Y prime Z near here. Or let's, okay, this one. Okay. Okay, so we have this one. Associate this X prime plus X and then Y plus. Okay. Okay, so what else? Okay, so let's proceed here. Okay, so we may associate this. So what else? Okay, this one also. Okay. Can you follow, class? Any comment? Any comment? Please make any comment. Okay, so we have W prime plus W prime X prime is W prime. Okay. Plus, so for here we can factor out W prime. Okay, W prime and then Z plus Z prime. Okay. Plus again, copy. Let's just copy this. Okay. Okay. Then we have B is equal to next. Question. X prime. Okay. So x prime, W prime plus x prime is x prime. Okay. Plus this one. Okay. Copy. And then we have y prime plus y prime z is y prime. Okay. Okay. Then we have W prime. Okay. Z plus z prime is 1. So another W prime. Okay. And then we have. Okay. Let's copy. Okay. So again, W prime is W. Okay. Just simply equal to W. Okay, let's have this first. Okay. So we may associate this here. Okay. This one. Okay. Okay, so we have x prime plus x prime z is x prime plus, okay, copy. Let's copy. Okay. W prime plus W prime is W prime. Okay. Plus W prime Y prime. Okay. So we may associate this. Okay. Okay. Plus, what else? Plus, let's just copy this. Okay. Okay. We have W prime. Okay. Okay, so what's next? This has gone very long. Okay.
Distribute pa.
Okay, distribute na naman natin to. Parang ayoko na. Ang haba na masyado. Okay. So that's why I only use max terms if you have only up until 3 zeros. Beyond that, I don't do max terms anymore. Okay, so let's distribute the x here to the other side. Okay. X prime, but then x prime, y prime plus x prime, y prime, z plus x prime, z prime plus, okay, distribute W prime, z, okay, W prime, okay, z, W prime, z, W prime, x prime, y prime, z, okay, plus W prime, y prime, z, plus W prime, x prime, z prime. Tama ba? Please check, class. X prime, y prime, prime. Okay. Y prime, where am I? X prime, y prime. Okay, third na. Y prime, z. Y prime, z. Okay. And then plus x prime, y prime, z, z prime, x prime, y prime, z prime. Am I right? Okay. So we have x prime, w prime, x prime, x prime, y prime, x prime, y prime, z, x prime, z prime, then w prime, z, w prime, z, w prime, okay, x prime, y prime, z, w prime, y prime, z, 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 and w prime, x prime, z, z prime. Then for y, double prime, y prime, x prime, y prime, y prime, x, y prime, z, and then x prime, y prime, z prime. Okay, then just copy this. Okay. Then we have, this is a good learning experience. Okay, so we have x prime w. Okay, so x, okay, okay, x prime w prime is x prime w prime. X prime is just simply x prime, y prime, isa lang, ano, plus, okay, so we'll just copy first, x prime, y prime, z, x prime, another x prime, z prime, okay. So next, w prime is just w prime, z, okay. And then we have apat, okay, wx prime, okay, we'll just copy. Then next is we have, ito na ba yun? W prime, y prime, z, z, so it's just w prime, y prime, z, okay. And then we have zz prime, double prime, x prime, zz prime. So what will happen here? This would become equal to what? Zz prime class. This would become equal to class zz prime. We have zz prime. So this would
Zero
just
po.
equal. Okay, 0. So it means you just have to remove this one. Okay. Then w prime, y prime. Okay. So we have w prime, y prime, plus x prime, y prime, x prime, y prime, y prime, so just equal to x prime, y prime, okay, plus y prime, z, so just simply equal to y prime, z, and of course, plus x prime, y prime, z, okay, so we'll just copy. Okay, what's next? Okay. Okay, so what can we do? Okay, can have this one, I believe. What else? Okay, x prime, z prime. Okay, how about this? Okay, let's transfer this here. Okay, and then associate this. Okay, what else? W prime z. Okay, so pwede na yan. Yan. Y prime z. And then this one, y prime z. Here. Okay, then associate this. Okay. Okay, what else? Okay. W prime, x, okay, x, okay. Ito muna. So, x prime, w prime plus, okay. So, how do you simplify this? X prime, y prime. X prime, y prime is parang 1 plus z, right? Tama ba? Okay. plus, how about this one? X prime, Z prime. Okay? So, ito naman, okay. Ito naman, X prime, Z prime. Tama ba? X prime. Okay. Okay. 1 plus Y prime. Okay. What else? How about here? W prime Z times 1 plus X prime Y prime. Tama ba, class? And then another we have Y prime Z times W prime plus 1. Okay. Plus W prime Y prime. Okay. Plus X prime Y prime. Okay. And we have B is equal to, okay, X prime W prime plus, okay, 1 plus Z is, what is 1 plus Z?
1.
Okay, so 1 plus Z is 1. So we have X prime Y prime plus, again, for this one, 1 plus Y prime is 1. So we only have now X prime Z prime plus, okay, so same here, 1 plus X prime Y prime. Okay, still equal to 1. So we have W prime Z. Then we have another y prime Z times W prime plus 1. So just Y prime Z. Y prime Z. And, okay, we're getting nearer. Okay. Okay, what's next? So we have, okay, meron na ba? Getting there. Okay, so we have 2 X prime Y prime. Okay. So only 1. Then we have, what else? X prime. Meron pa ba? Wala na, no? Naubos yung oras natin dito. Okay, so we only have X prime, Y prime, so we have to eliminate the other term. Okay, so we'll only retain 1 X prime, Y prime. Okay. None? Okay na yan? Class, okay na yan? Naulit na po yung X prime, Y prime. Oo nga. Pag naulit, isa lang. No? Okay na ba to? Okay. Oh, we have to X prime, Y prime here. Nung nag-simplify tayo. So, isa lang. Okay. So, ito na yon. Okay, we have to remove the other one. Okay. Then, so since wala na tayong masisimplify, so tsaka natin i-distribute the last term to here. Okay. So, we have start with W. Okay. X prime, W prime. Okay. Plus W X prime, Y prime. Okay. Plus W X prime, Z prime. Plus W prime Z. Okay. Plus W Y prime Z. Plus W prime Y prime. Okay. And then, okay. And then distribute the X. Okay. Distribute the X. Okay. X prime. x prime, w prime. Then we have x prime, y prime. And then we have x prime, z prime. And then we have x prime, w prime, z. And then we have x prime, nasan tayo? X prime, y prime, z. And then we have x prime, w prime, y prime. Okay? And then next, we have distribute the y. Okay, distribute natin yung y dito. So it becomes prime y, w prime, plus x prime, y prime, plus, ano tayo, x prime, y, z prime, plus w prime, y, z, plus y prime, z, plus w prime, y prime. Okay, and then we have z prime. Okay, distribute z prime. Lastly, so we have x prime, w prime, z prime, plus x prime, y prime, z prime, plus x prime, z prime, z prime, plus w prime, z prime, plus y prime, z prime, okay, plus w prime, y prime, z prime. Okay na ba yun? Let's start with w. So x prime, w prime, x prime, w x prime, y prime, w x prime, z prime, w prime, z. Okay, then we have w prime. Okay. Okay. Y prime z and w prime, y prime. Okay, then distribute x prime, w prime, x prime, y prime, x prime, z prime, x prime, w prime, z, x prime, y prime, z, x prime, w prime, y prime. Then for y, we have x prime, where is this? X prime, y prime, w prime, y prime. Okay. Where is this from? So this should have been a y, x prime. So this should have been x prime, okay, x prime, y, w prime, okay? Then we have x prime, oh. Help me, please. Tell me, where did I go wrong? Okay, x prime, w prime. Okay, so this is the first y, x prime, w prime. Okay, then you have y, x prime, y prime. Okay, so y prime. Tama ba? Y prime, x prime. Okay, y prime, x prime. Okay, and next we have x prime, y, z prime. Then we have w prime, y, z, y prime, z, and y prime, w. Then next we have z prime. Okay, z prime, x prime, w prime, z prime, x prime, y prime, z prime, x prime, z prime, z prime, double prime, z prime, double prime, z prime, and double prime, y prime, z prime. Okay? Okay, so let's do this step by step. Okay. So, w prime, w prime, this is already equal to?
0 po.
Okay, 0. So, this would be eliminated. Okay, eliminated na yan. Tanggalin na natin. Then, what else? Hanapin natin yung mga tatanggalin natin. Okay, another W prime. So, wala na yan. 0. What else? Okay, so ito din. Okay. Ano pa? Magpakita na kayo. Okay. Okay, so Y prime Y. 0. Okay.
Y prime, ma'am.
Okay, ito pa. Okay, and we have here. Okay, what else? Z prime, ito. ZZ prime. Okay, another ZZ prime. Okay, may na-miss na ba ako? Okay, then we have, okay, you have 2XW. Ayan, so ito na lang sulat natin. Okay, so copy muna natin. Copy. Okay, copy, then, ano pa? So ito muna, copy natin. Copy. Okay, and then we have x prime, so we only write one. Okay, x prime, w prime. Okay, so again for, okay, x prime, y prime, just simply equal to x prime, y prime. Okay, another x prime, so x prime, z prime. Okay, then we have, ang dami na, no? Ayan. Oh, wala na magkakapareho dyan. Okay, copy. Then we have, okay, copy muna natin. Okay, then, okay, copy muna. And then, x prime, z prime, so x prime, z prime. And then we have plus w prime, y prime, z prime. Tama ba? So, anong pwede natin i-associate? Associate. Okay.
Karamihan po, ma'am, X prime, Z prime.
Okay, ito. Magkakatabi muna. Okay. X prime, Z. X prime, Z prime, X prime, Z. Pwede to. Okay. Pwede yan. Okay. Anong pa ba? X prime, Y prime. Okay. So, ilipat natin to dito. Lipat natin siya dito. Okay. Then, associate them. Okay. Ano pa? Okay. Okay. We have here. Actually, ito muna. Pwede rin to. Silang dalawa muna. X prime, W prime. Okay. Then we have okay. So we have here. Okay. Cut natin dito. Associate natin siya dito. Okay. Yan. Oh, this teaching us to be patience and perseverance. Okay. What else? Okay. Matatapos din to. Don't worry. Okay. Ito. Okay. Here. Okay. Then associate. Okay. Okay. Then we have what's next? Ano pa? Prime. Okay, ito. Ito. Okay, pwede yan. Okay, ano pa? Y prime. Okay, yan muna. Okay, we'll see. Okay, wx prime y prime plus x prime w prime. So, ano bang iyan natin dyan? X prime, okay? So, let's factor out x prime. Okay, so it becomes wy prime plus w prime. Tama ba? Okay, plus, okay. Ano pa? So, copy muna natin. Mamaya ka na. Okay. Then we have, okay, x prime y prime plus x prime y, okay. Okay, so i-factor out natin yung x prime y prime, 1 plus z. Okay, then plus, okay, ano naman dito? X prime, okay, x prime, z prime plus w prime z. Then we have plus x prime w prime. So 1 plus, sorry, x prime w prime. So y prime plus y. Plus, how about here? X prime z prime, x prime z prime, y plus y prime. Okay. And then, okay, copy muna natin to. Okay. Then next, we have factor out x prime z prime here. X prime z prime, factor out w prime plus 1. Okay. And then we have copy. Okay. Copy nito. W prime, y prime, z prime. Okay. Then next, we have b is equal to, so we have anong value nito? W prime plus wy prime.
W prime plus Y prime po.
Okay. So, x, ano ba yan? X plus x prime y is x plus y. Okay. So, it becomes x prime. Okay. W prime plus y prime. Tama ba? Okay. Okay, copy. Okay. Ito. X plus x prime y is x plus y. Okay. X plus y. Okay. Plus, okay. 1 plus z is 1. So, just copy x prime y prime. Plus, same here. Z prime plus w prime z is equal to?
Z prime plus W prime.
Plus w prime. Okay. And then, okay, y prime plus y is, this is equal to 1. Y prime plus y is equal to 1. Okay. So, same here. So, x prime z prime times y plus y prime. So, equal to 1 also. Y plus y prime is equal to 1. Okay. Plus, so copy first. Okay. X prime z prime plus w prime yz. Plus, so we have x prime z prime times w prime plus 1. So w prime plus 1 is also equal to 1. So we have x prime z prime plus w prime y prime z prime. Okay? Oh, maiksi na lang yan, di ba? Ayan. So, distribute ulit natin para baka may kamatch siya. Okay. Plus x prime z prime plus x prime w prime. Okay. Then copy. Yeah. Kutuhan. Okay, so may magkakapareho ito, di ba? So, they're the same. Meron pa ba? Ito pa. Kakapareho. Nagkaiba. Ayan, x prime, z prime. They're the same. Okay, what else? W prime, y, z. Okay, ito pa. May isa pa. May third pa. Okay, ano pa? X prime, y prime. Oh, meron dito. X prime, y prime. Okay, x prime, y prime. Okay. Aha, ano pa? X prime, W prime. May red. Okay, no, red. Okay, so we have, okay. Ano pa? W prime. Ayan, YC. Okay. Okay, so, yun muna. X prime, W prime. Yan, plus X prime, Y prime. Okay. Ano pa yung magkakapareho? X prime, Z prime. And then, copy natin yung hindi pa natin nagagalaw. Copy lang. Okay. And this one. Diba? Ayos pa ba kayo dyan? I hope you're still listening. Okay. Okay. So, shout out kay Doris Bernales, Jennifer Relos, wala man lang present, Donald Tagay, Del Valle, Chisalva, and Pesado. Okay. Okay, ano ba sunod? Ito na ba yon? Ang haba, no? Okay, X prime. Yeah, ito to. X prime, Z prime. Okay? So, pwede siyang i-associate. Okay, mawala yung, ano mawala dyan? Yung W. Okay, W prime. Pwede to. Ayan. Pwede, diba? Okay, ano pa? Wala na. Copy natin to. Let's copy. Okay, and then we have, paano to? X prime, Z prime. Okay, 1 plus W. Ito pa yung plus. Okay. Plus W, Y prime, Z. Okay, plus W prime. W prime, YZ plus Y prime, Z prime. Okay. Yan na. Ayan na yun. Wala na. Oh, ito. X prime. Oh. Okay. So, 1 plus W. Ayan. Meron pa dito. 1 plus W is 1. So, ito na lang siya. Ba? Plus. Okay. Ayan. Ano pa? B is equal to. B is equal to.
Pwede pa i-factor yung X prime.
I-factor out lang siya. Pero wala nang mai-eliminate eh.
Okay.
Pwede yan. X prime. W prime plus Y prime Z prime. Plus. Okay, yan na yun. Okay. W, Y prime Z. Okay. Okay. Anong gate to? Class, anong gate to? YZ plus Y prime Z prime. Anong gagawin natin dyan? This is AND or invert NAND NOR XOR XNOR. Paano itong YZ plus Y prime Z prime? Hindi siya NOR. Y prime Z prime plus YZ, it's like 0, 0 plus 1, 1 would have an output of 1. So what gate is that?
XNOR po.
Okay, so it is XNOR. Okay? XNOR. Okay? So we have Y. May symbol ng XNOR eh. Wala lang XOR. Okay, I've seen the symbol for XNOR. Okay. Ayan, may symbol bang XOR? Ayan. Ang haba. Ayan, kaya ako personally, I only do max terms, maximum of 3 zeros. If not, min terms na lang. Okay? But then, I guess, marami naman kayo natutunan, ano? Actually, you may, pwede namang ito na lang. Okay? So, if you want to save yourself from hassle. So, ito na lang yun. Diretso na. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Kaya lang ang dami. Fifteen literals. Okay. Whereas we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lang. Madami pa rin. Pero 10 lang. Nabawasan ka na lima. Tsaka mas simple yung mas simple yung Boolean equation niya. Okay, so again, for your assignment, this time your assignment would be C for the boys, D for the girls. Okay. You do the looping. Okay, it's up to you whether to use min term or max terms. But then again, so if you have maximum of 3 zeros, not unless dito kasi hiwa-hiwalay pa yung 0, 'di ba? Pero kung apat na 0 na magkakatabi yun, okay lang. Okay? Kaya lang ito hiwa-hiwalay, dala-dalawa lang. Okay lang yung apat na 0 kung tabi-tabi. O pwedeng pa ganun, o kaya square. Okay, pwede ring walo-walo. Okay, let's say ito, 8 0 yan. O yan, biluga mo isa. Pero ito kasi magkakahiwalay na tigda-dalawa, kaya ang dami nating nabuong terms. Okay, kaya ang dami nating nabuong literals. Any question? Okay, again, C for the boys and D for the girls. Okay, so you do the loop and then simplified Boolean equation and then the circuits. Okay? Any question? Wala ni isa. Hindi pa siya napasama sa ano, nasaan na si Relos. Any question, class? Question? Clarification? Reaction? Any question? None? So, I hope you learned a lot for this morning session. No? Medyo mahirap na talaga tong lecture natin kasi we are now on the final chapter of our subject. So, this is we're actually doing already a design. So, we're already designing. Okay, we're actually designing BCD2 7-segment decoder. Okay, so this is actually a decoder IC, no? We're just doing it little by little, okay? So, yan, no? Design problem for 7-segment, okay? So, we've already done letter A. yesterday, now B. And then assignment, boys for C and girls for D. Okay. So if you have four adjacent zeros, so you may go for max term. So it's either you make a square or a straight here, okay, or adjacent zeros na walo, yan, okay yan. Pero kung dalawang zero na magkatabi, okay din yun, max terms. But if like this, dami, di ba? So, ang daming tigda dalawa. So, sana kung dalawa lang na zero, ganito. So, okay lang yun na max terms. If not, if the max term is going to be like this, ang dami yung gagawin, no? Aha, ma'am, hindi the drawing ng circuit. Hindi. The drawing nyo pa ulit. Carnomap. Justin, this is not carnograph, carnomap. Okay, so you do the letter C for your assignment. Okay, C. So you have to fill yung C natin, wala pang laman yan, di ba? Okay, wala pang laman, no? Okay, but then you already have the truth table. So lalagyan yung laman yan. And then you do the loop. Okay, then simplify. Okay, simplify. Okay, of course, you do the Carnomap. Okay, using Carnomap. And as you can see here, although we do the Carnomap, we also do the Boolean algebra. Carnomap and Boolean algebra if necessary. So you do everything just to minimize the number of literals because that's the goal. Okay, and then you draw the circuit. Okay. Question, any clarification? Huwag na natin i-drawing tong B. Okay, I already know that you have an idea because I can see your assignments, your forwarded assignments on letter A. So, okay. So with the 7 segments, so actually it's one of my favorite discussion for logic circuit design. Kasi andito na lahat eh, no? One problem, 7 outputs na agad. Okay, so dami na agad magagawa. C and D, ha, class? Okay? Any question? Any question, please? Ask question, clarification? Okay, none? Okay, thank you for my 6 students. Okay. Jennifer, you're back. Okay. Ano ba ang ano mo? Signal mo? On and off? Okay. Okay. So, if you have no more question, thank you for attending my class. Okay. So, see you next week. Bye.